Our inspiration for the Hoagies for the Homeless was an initiative that we took on through the youth group that was going to be an outreach mission project, something that we could do locally within our community, something that the youth could take responsibility for, and something that they could put their actual hands on and actually do it. We've developed it from the conception of going to our church community family and asking for donations, to then going out and purchasing those items, and then the children physically with their hands are making and assembling these lunch sandwiches with chips and water for them to have a meal. The reaction of the youth working with the homeless was they weren't really sure how to approach them, and they weren't sure exactly what they said, what to say. So we would just say what's in your heart, and just say, someone is thinking of you, here's a meal for you today. And that kind of bridged that uncomfortableness as they were learning to do this. And they would come and ask questions afterwards. I know my son and his friend that came the one day we did it, it made an impact on him, because he said, how do we know, Mommy? Or why are they homeless? Or why do they not have food? And how did they get this way? So it started the conversation of knowing, well, maybe I do have it good. I have food. I have a bed to sleep in. I have a home. So it made my son and his friend think outside the box of, it's not all about me. How I know personally that it has touched me was when I was giving food to one of the homeless gals on the ocean front. And my son tapped me on the shoulder and said, Mommy, how did you know she was homeless? I said, because she had everything she owned in her knapsack. And in that knapsack, I could see her deodorant and a toothbrush, and she just had that look about her. And I tapped her on the shoulder as she was walking, and I said, here's a lunch for you today. Know that we are thinking of you and that you are loved. And she said, oh, well, thank you. And she went on her way, and we continued to go down the boardwalk and walk. Well, then we found about the Pen Ministry, and in that Pen Ministry we drove, the bus that we did for youth, and went and delivered our remaining sandwiches that we couldn't give out, that we weren't exactly sure where everyone was located. When we were there had to be at least 100 homeless folks there between eating, and there were children, and there were toddlers, and there were adults. And they were getting clothes, and they were getting food, and they had nurses that were there donating their time to see them on wounds or blisters because of their daily lives. While we were exiting the building, the one lady that I saw on the boardwalk that I had given my meal to, she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, I want to thank you for seeing me. And right then and there, I thought, this is bigger than me. This was bigger, that God told me to go out of my comfort zone and do this. So if I felt this way and my child has learned this way, I'm thinking this is good, and it's what we are to do, and we are going out to our community. So I thought to myself in that moment, out of all the times and all the places we've been that day, and there had to be at least 100 folks in this building, that she saw me to say, thank you for seeing me. So that was my God moment. And so I've decided that I will work with the rest of the youth on that to continue doing this mission. As per our church's mission, I believe the youth is embracing it because we're doing the least of these, and it's doing outreach, and it's being the light of the community. It only takes one, and I feel that we're starting to do that, and that we are going outside of our walls of just Courthouse Community, United Methodist Church, but having it go back, it's tenfold, so that I think we're actually doing our mission statement.